Warning. This broadcast is not for the weak-minded. It's the War Room with Owen Shroyer.
Looking for a few good men. Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai is one of them. He is running against Elizabeth Warren in the state of Massachusetts, trying to de-seat the fake Indian. Of course, Dr. Shiva, a real Indian. And I bring Dr. Shiva on with me today to give you an update on the situation. Just to give you a little background, last week we spoke with Dr. Shiva. He is basically being, well, they're waging a, I forget what I called it, a political racketeering campaign, I believe is what I called it, a political racketeering campaign against Dr. Shiva, where he has a bus sitting in front of his lab, his, I guess you could say, semi-campaign headquarters, that says only a real Indian can defeat a fake Indian. And the city of Cambridge decided to come around and say, well, sir, you don't have a right to free speech. In fact, we're going to fine you $300 every day you don't remove that sign. Well, Dr. Shiva is a fighter, and he's not going to go without a fight. So now he's filed a lawsuit back against the city of Cambridge, complaint charges, political bias, and violation of First Amendment. Dr. Shiva joins me today. Update my audience on this lawsuit. You just launched it. You're just releasing the press releases today. What is the response? What kind of attention are you getting, Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai?
InfoWars. I appreciate it. Owen, on Sunday morning, our lawyers filed a lawsuit in federal court, in Massachusetts federal court, on two grounds. One is that this is a violation of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and also of the Massachusetts Constitution. The background on this is, and the reason we have a very strong case is, you know, I own the building. I've owned it for almost close to 20 years. There's no signage on the building, Owen. However, in the parking lot, starting in March of last year, as some of the viewers may know, local students and citizens in Cambridge literally took an old bus, school bus, refurbished it, repainted it, and we had it parking in 3 of the nearly 70 parking spots in the 3 or 4 of the 70 parking spots in the parking lot. And at that point, in March of 2017, the signage said Shiva for Senate, be the light. 2 months after that, around June, Owen, we changed the signage to Shiva for Senate, Fight for America. You know, part of what you do is in a political campaign, you're constantly testing messaging. In March of this year, March of 2018, the message that really was resonating with people and really was a very powerful message is only a real Indian can defeat the fake Indian. On March 17th, 2018, which was literally the day before the St. Patrick's Day parade, we put those 2 signs on our bus. Now, you got to understand, this is on the bus. A few weeks later, as I shared with your audience, we received a letter from the Cambridge city of Cambridge, or a message saying you have to take it out. Then we received a formal letter saying if you do not remove it, it'll be $300 a day fine. Now, the insidious thing about this, Owen, is what the way these guys work is they hope to harass you that you'll just walk away and take down the sign. Or if you don't do it, then suddenly at any point they can hit you with a bill, right? So, you know, we consulted, we have great attorneys, and our attorney said you got to file suit against them because what they're doing is obviously violation of the First Amendment, but they're essentially trying to have their cake and eat it too. So that's why we filed, Owen. It's going to be a very, very good lawsuit. It's a strong lawsuit. And it basically is a clear censorship of speech because obviously they didn't have any problems with the 2 previous messages, but only this message.
And that's the key right there. But see, that's the key right there, Dr. Shiva, because you could have had that van sitting in that parking lot with any message. I mean, literally any message you want. Go Red Sox. Or how about this? You could have had it sitting in the parking lot with like, go Yankees, you know, Brock's Bombers forever. Or you know, anything, you know, Boston Bruins, Stanley Cup champions. Or you could put whatever message. It's your property. You're just parked in a spot. And it doesn't matter. You can do an ad campaign for some local company. People do all the kinds of ad campaigns on cars and they drive around. And just like you said, it proves, though, with 100% this is a violation of the First Amendment. But it proves that this is 100% political, definitely political racketeering, that it's that message that triggers their response. So it proves it. They've really harmed themselves here by only responding to that sign instead of all the other ones. So it would have always been a violation of the First Amendment. But now I think you have proof that this is political racketeering as well.
Right. And the important thing here, Owen, is the political point everyone needs to understand is that message you see rarely in, like, you know, if people write poetry, if they write songs, you know, sometimes you get a great, you know, song, right, or a great poem. That message is a very, very powerful political message, which I believe will go down in political history as one of the strongest messages. And it hits at the heart of not only, forget the identity issue that she lied, and doesn't want to take the DNA test, that she lied to get into Harvard, but the deeper issue about integrity. You're talking about not only Elizabeth Warren, but the integrity of all of these politicians who are fake. And, you know, the other piece of this is, when I say only a real Indian can defeat the fake Indian, I'm talking about the fact is that I'm a real American, you're a real American. And, you know, to put it bluntly, when you really look at the economics of what's going on with the deep state, what they've done to this country, we're all on reservations now. You know, they put Indians on reservations first, but you have poor whites being segregated, poor blacks being segregated, poor Hispanics. We live in a point where the politicians and the deep state have sold us all out. And that is what this election is about. I mean, I came from, you know, New Jersey, from Patterson, from Newark. I've gone through the process of immigration, coming here legally, and I know the everyday people in this country, teachers, working people who struggle, and the founders of this country wanted real people. They did not want these fake people. Now, the founders of our country were blacksmiths and engineers and architects. They were geniuses.
Farmers.
Now we have a bunch of idiots running the country, you know, and they're self-serving idiots, be it, you know, the establishment Democrat or the establishment Republican. In Massachusetts, you know, Warren is part of the tip of the iceberg. We got one guy running on the Republican side who gave $250,000 to Bill Clinton, claims he's a Republican. Another guy, you know, voted for Joe Biden, who wants to beat up the president, and now suddenly photoshops pictures of him with Trump.
I can tell you, Dr. Shiva. I mean, I don't know how much attention with your campaign you're able to watch the attack of the liberal media and the mainstream media, but I mean, you are honestly one of their greatest targets. I mean, they are honestly waging a campaign. I mean, that's how you know you're so effective. That's how you know that they're scared of you, when they do everything they can to try to stop you, hinder you, and then will even blatantly break the law and stop your First Amendment right by telling you to remove a sign. Now, my guess is you have not removed that sign yet.
No, we're not going to remove the sign. We're going to escalate this. We are getting pickup trucks with more signs on it.
Yes.
You know, this is one of those fundamental rights that need to be fought. You know, the Second Amendment and the First Amendment go hand in hand. But the First Amendment was, you know, the pen is mightier than the sword, right? So if we do not defend the First Amendment, you know, why do we even have the Second Amendment? What are we going to defend that for? So this is one of and, you know, the hypocrisies, this is in, you know, the center of academia, right? MIT, Harvard, it's the center of academia. A mile away is Elizabeth Warren's home. These are the intellectual elites who so, you know, articulately talk about, you know, inclusivity, diversity, free speech, et cetera, except when it's free speech exposing their hypocrisy. So we got to fight it all the way, Owen. So, I mean, look, our campaign is not just about one day getting elected and then we fight. Our campaign has been a struggle from day one. We expose the GOP establishment. As you know, when we took down the bus down the big St. Patrick's Day parade, millions loved it. And the NBC Nesson cameras literally point their cameras on the ground. They gave everyone else attention at home we view but except our bus. That's how corrupt these people are.
Well, they've just shot themselves in the foot with this. But you know what, though? They just shot themselves in the foot with this lawsuit, because now they're going to have to cover that bus. So yeah. You're going to come out on top of this deal, and it's a great campaign that you're fighting right now. And I was here. I heard the good news. I know that you're doing a bit of a media tour today. That's why you're just on the phone. But you're going to join us again soon over Skype. You're going to be on the Alex Jones Show tomorrow as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai, ShivaForSenate.com.
Thank you to the InfoWars team for making this happen. Thank you. Yeah, get it out there wide. ShivaForSenate.com. We also have a page if people want to support the lawsuit. It'd be awesome. But